Hey, Notoria. Hello,
Hi.
everyone who is tuning in with us tonight. I'm so excited. It's Sickle Cell Awareness Month. Happy Sickle Cell Awareness Month.
Yes.
Um, and I'm just so excited to have our first community conversations of Sickle Cell Awareness Month. And I'm excited to be joined by you, Notoria. Of course, I know you, but everyone might not know who you are. So could you
Yes.
please introduce yourself to everyone?
Well, first I want to say happy Sickle Timber. This is our month. This is our month to shine. My name is Notoria Jones. I am a IPCA. For people who don't know that, that's independent patient caregiver advocate. I am a warrior parent to a 11-year-old, and I'm just happy to be here and a partner of the Sickle Cell Community Consortium as well.
And I am happy to have you here and extra happy that you are a partner, a very important partner at that. Um, so, as we said, this is Sickle Cell Awareness Month, and the consortium. We don't host events really in September because we like to focus on our partners because we have so many amazing partners that do so many amazing things. But this September, the one thing we would like to focus on is raising funds and fundraising for the consortium. So, Tori, you just said sickle timber, and we're calling ours Giving Timber, and we're asking for people to donate to the Sickle Cell Consortium. And that's why we have you here today because you are the chair of one of the infrastructure committees of the General Assembly of the consortium. For people unfamiliar with how the consortium is structured, we are an organization made up of partner organization and IPCAs, or independent patient advocates, patient caregiver advocates, and they serve as our general assembly, and
Mhm.
they sit on different infrastructure committees. And Ms. Jones is the chair of one of our very important committees. Can you tell us a little about that committee?
Yes, ERT stands for Emergency Response Team. Like you said, we are one of the infrastructure committees. We focus on our community. We focus on our warriors. Our purpose is to determine how we could keep our fingerprint on the pulse of the community to ensure we are addressing community needs and emergencies, especially like natural disasters. Back in a couple of years ago, we helped out our Texas area with water. Also, we just this year we help out Puerto Rico. Our warrior families, we definitely did a great job with Dr. Bailey, Miss Maria. We really work hard to make sure we can help out our warrior families in that area. So our main purpose is to make sure that we can be there for our warriors for emergencies. We help out with rent assistance, utilities, and food. We come together. We have a community base of 10 to 12 people. Right now, it's about six of us that's going strong. And we have two to three staff members who are our liaison. Everything we do is confidential. Only people who knows who are applying for is, of course, Dr. Bailey and our liaisons in our finance department. They work to make sure that we could get that assistance to our families and warriors in needs.
So you said that is the emergency response.
Yes, emergency
And
response team.
one thing, the consortium that we would like people to know is that committee is fully funded by consortium funds, meaning not grant money, not money we get from sponsors for events and stuff, but money that we get from donations. And the community needs this support. It's
Yes,
not something that is utilized random, like rarely. This is something that we deal with on a regular basis, and our community needs this support.
yes,
And without people kind enough to give to organizations such as the consortium, those families who need that support will have an even harder time if we can't give it to them. So
yes. What we tend to do is we try to find other resources for families first. Um, the ERT, we are your last resort. We want to make sure we connect you with the right CBO in your area. We want to see what type of programs the government may have that's in your state, in your county. We try to make sure we try to reach out and get you help first. Then, if we have exalt everything else, then we come, have you apply for us. It's very simple. You can contact our liaison. Right now, our main liaison is Ms. Maria Rivera. You could definitely email her. She will connect you with the application to where you need to fill that out. Now, I just wanted to let you know we help out those families, but we don't directly, besides food assistance, we pay those bills for you guys. And you have to show that you are a warrior or a caregiver that has a warrior that's in, that has sickle cell. So it's a little bit some stipulations, but we make sure that we try to reach and help every warrior in every family that we can.
I'm just typing all of that in the comments so people
Yes.
who watch after know how to get the help. And you did say that Miss Maria is the liaison
Yeah.
for that's the contact person. And
Yes.
so what I'm doing now is I'm putting Miss Maria's email um into the chat so that it can be there when people come back and watch this after we're no longer live. And
Yes.
the comment is there now. So we'll get back to talking about the committee more, but one of the things that we know about you that you are a mother of a warrior. Can you tell us a little bit about your warrior and like was there a specific experience with your daughter that pushed you into advocacy or were you just a curious parent that wanted to know all that they could know and that's how you got into advocacy?
Well, my warrior, her name is Asana. Asana is she is a sweetheart, and I know every parent says that about their child, but my daughter worries about other people than herself. And she's only 11, and I'm like, baby, you going through a lot, but I am so proud of her. Um, how I got into advocacy was when I found out I was pregnant with Asana. My doctor did a special test during my pregnancy to let me know that there's a chance that Asana could have sickle cell. So at the time, I didn't know it was a girl or anything. I knew I had the trait, but I didn't know my fiance at the time had the trait as well. So when we found out, he's like, "Yeah, I have it," everything, and that's the thing. You don't know who you got to ask, and I did.
Yeah.
It was
I don't want to
tracking.
cut you off, but like that's like a very important thing because this
Yes.
is Sickle Cell Awareness Month, so we have to add that awareness in there. When you meet someone, if you know you have the trait, you should ask them. And you should know if you have the trait. If you're an adult with sickle cell in America, you should know if you have sickle cell trait. If you don't know if you have sickle cell trait, you can ask your healthcare provider, your PCP, for an a hemoglobin electrophoresis test.
Yes.
I'll type that in the chat because that's a mouthful, but that's the test you ask for to determine your hemoglobin type and it lets you know if you have sickle cell trait or not.
Yes.
Because if you don't have that conversation, your story might go a little how Tori is going to
Yes.
continue her story.
And we have to remember it's a 1 out of 4 chance. 1 out of 4 chance. So when we found out that she was, I was in my last year of college. I only had a couple of classes left. And my mom was like, well, I will take care of her. And I said, no, I want to know more about sickle cell. I knew I had a trait, but I just didn't know a whole lot about it. And so when I found out that she was born with it and she has hemoglobin SS, and as we all know, that's one of our severe levels of sickle cell. I just wanted to know more. I wanted to advocate for her. And at the time, I'm just this mom in college. Like, okay, I'm giving up my last year to focus on my child, but she was the most important thing to me. I wanted to know the ins and outs, and I'm glad I did. And going along, I was teaching my family, and I just said, okay, I'm an advocate for this, and I'm going to fight for my child well being. So at the time, Asana has been through a lot. Like I said, she's only 11. She has truly been through a lot. Her most recently was she just had her spleen removed, and that was a scare because she had a rare case. So it just makes me go harder, be stronger, out here fighting for warriors like my child, and for caregivers. I love the team that I the team I have gained. I have gained a family. I feel like the consortium is a family. I feel like the partners that, we work with are family. And, we just coming off our Warriors convention. That was like a big fair reunion to us.
Yeah.
So I love connecting with other caregivers because we help one another. And even with Warriors, because, I have reached out to you like, hey, Asana's getting to that age, can you give me some advice on, something you went through? And I know everyone is different, but I just love how we come together. Really do.
Yeah. That's like the beautiful thing of the sickle cell community. Of course, no community is perfect, but the sickle cell community, when we come together, we truly come together, and as we said, we become family. I've gotten to see Asana grow up because when we first met,
Yes.
she was little, Rory was little, Raiden didn't exist, and now, as you said, she's 11, and
Yes.
she truly is a sweetie. At the convention, um, at the Beauty Within Sickle Cell,
Yes.
all the girls were getting their makeup, and little Mrs. Sana was like, "I'm not doing it unless my mom says I can." So
Because
I'm
we
not.
had a little talk because Asana got into my makeup, my Mac, my Mac. And her and my niece, they played with my makeup, and I told her she loves makeup. She's a girly girl. She loves it. And she was like, my mama told me. And
Yeah,
she was telling me,
we
she was
were like, okay, okay, I'm gonna find out for you. I'm gonna find out. So
when you called, and I said, yes, yes, she can. Because I told her I would, put a little makeup on her. But she
yeah.
was like, no, mommy, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. So,
Yeah, I thought that was just the cutest and sweetest, and I thought it just spoke a lot to her character
yeah,
because some kids would have just gotten it done and said, "Well, everybody else was doing it," and kids can push boundaries when you're in front of
yes,
company or whatever. So I just thought that was the cutest thing. And you mentioned another thing, which is the caregivers, and that's another thing that's special to the consortium and some a community. What is the word I'm looking for? A population that we
yes,
focus a lot on because most warriors would be nowhere without their caregiver. Like my caregiver that just snuck by, or like my mom. Caregivers are needed, and I'm happy that we have caregivers like you and Elle and the other caregivers that's on the that work on our caregiver initiatives because
yes.
y'all put so much thought into it.
We
Right.
do. I feel like we all work as a team, and even if we're not on that committee, when we talk or they're like, "Oh, yes, that's a good idea." We all come together, we brainstorm, we try to see what as caregivers, what do we need or what we need to focus on. I mean, we may not know all the questions, and that's when you guys come and play, our warriors. You guys help us and say, hey, no, we need y'all. We need y'all not to be burnt out. We need y'all to
Yeah.
be there because without y'all, we'll be a rock in a hard place. So
Yeah.
I just, I love how we come and we talk, and like I will say my little clique like Elle and Yolanda Lewis.
Yeah.
We come together, we will talk, and I miss that so much because we talk about everything, not just, our warriors of what we going through or what we see our community may need. So I just love our family gathering and our family connections. It's really good.
I was a little jealous that I couldn't go to brunch with y'all at the convention, but that looked like
Yes.
y'all really enjoyed the caregivers brunch and learning from our golden warriors that
Yes.
were there at convention.
I think that was beautiful. And I wish we could keep that going because getting their feedback and how they could help us or, the suggestions and telling us don't worry, just make sure you keep your faith. Make sure you keep them lifted. Don't stop. Even when you're burnt out, don't give up. Try to get yourself together. I love the conversations we had. And, especially with the caregivers, and it was a much needed break for us. It it was nice. It really was to be served and not, we're
Yeah,
always serving
and
and catering. It was nice to be catered once in a while.
for people who didn't attend the 10th annual Warriors Convention, if you didn't attend, you really missed out. But for the people who didn't attend or who are new to the consortium, during this convention, we had the Golden Warrior Experience, which was for sickle cell warriors ages 55 and older. And they came to the convention and they were treated with, so they were top priority
Yes.
basically. And as Tori said, we were able to gain so much knowledge from that population because they're the population that was here before the few advances we're seeing now weren't even thought of. So I really enjoyed it too, and that has been an echoing sentiment that people really loved.
Mhm.
That the Golden Warriors loved it, and the rest of the community loved it. So I know we have talked about continuing that in some way because it was truly a beautiful thing, and I just love that that's kind of one of the things that sets us apart as an organization is that we truly, truly focus on the community at our events. The patients are at the forefront and the center of our thoughts and the way we lay out the program. So I'm proud of that. And that's like another reason why supporting the consortium is a great organization to support because we don't post all that we do, but we do so much
We
in the
do.
community and behind the scenes. Our partners sit on some. Usually, if there's something happening in the sickle cell world, a partner or someone is a part of it. And man, the sickle cell community consortium partners are amazing.
Yes. I
Because
even love how when we put a stamp on every place we go, we leave a stamp. I love how we gave back to the community with
yeah,
the school supplies and everything. And it was nice, even though it was the last day, a lot of people were leaving, but you still had a lot of people who stayed. I think we stayed and we ended up getting home late, but it was joyful. We ended up
yeah,
staying late and then we stopped in Dallas and hang with family, but we had a good time. And
y'all stopped in Dallas,
yes, we did.
but I probably wasn't there yet. I
No, you were still
didn't.
back in Houston.
But the next time y'all stop in Dallas, y'all got to stop with us.
Yes. We
But
we
yes,
got
so
family there and Asana wants to move to Dallas.
tell her, hey, come on. Hey,
Mhm.
Etta. Etta said, hey, in the
Hi,
comments.
Etta.
Um, I lost my train of thought for a second.
She was one of our Golden Warriors.
She was, and she was one of our golden warriors. I loved being around her. She's quiet but observant, so you got to just listen when she speaks because she's gonna drop some knowledge on you.
Mhm.
Um, Man, my thought left me. I hate when that happens, and that's the one bad thing about going live because you can't hide it.
Yes.
It's gonna come back to me. What were we saying?
We were talking about how we come together as a community and how we leave our stamp in every place we
Oh, yeah, we leave our stamp. They booked the health fair. Yes.
go.
So as you stated, whenever we go somewhere, our goal is to leave it better than when we got there.
Yes.
And the health fair was hosted in Fifth Ward, Houston. If you know Houston, you know that that's the hood, and
Mm,
that is where people have less in that community. So it was a great turnout. A lot of people showed up for backpacks, but they also were able to get immunizations, health
yes.
screenings. It was so many tables with so many different resources there. And thanks to Dr. Austin of the Aswan Foundation, we also had a blood drive. So
Yes.
we even got some life saving blood donations while there. So that in itself was a very successful event. Thank you to anyone who donated to the back to school drive fundraiser because that was something that was going on before um, convention. And I don't have the link, but I will share it. You can still donate to that as well because that is an ongoing need. Um,
Yes.
there are so many ways that donating to the consortium helps the community other than just the emergency response team. Our SC3 Next Generation, the things we
Yes.
do with our youth and young adults, man, the impact we had on the kids at this convention, it just touched my heart alone. So it's an honor that we are able to work with the kids and do so much with the kids, like a complete STEM room where they do the virtual reality. We had a music room,
Oh,
and
they
the
love the
kids,
games. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
they love it.
They really enjoyed themselves. And, a lot of them grew up together. So just to see them come back
Yes,
after COVID was just wonderful. It's like they've still connected. They had a great time. I
yes.
mean, even the homecoming, that was beautiful. My little autistic child,
She didn't
she
like
did
the
not like
noise.
it. She was so ready to go, but it was great. And like you said, this community really gives back. And even though the pain they go through, they still step up and step out. So I'm so proud to be a part of it. I really am. And we just ask that you give. We need the donations. This community, they really do what they say they're gonna do. And Dr. Bailey, she works her poor little heart out to where she wanna make
Yeah,
sure everything. Her and Sharonda, I tip my hat off to those ladies.
yeah. We have two amazing leaders
Yeah.
that work tirelessly to ensure that we can serve the community, sometimes to the detriment of their own health.
Yes.
They will stay up late hours to find these funds to get this support because it truly it's a labor of love for us.
Yeah.
It's a passion. We all want what's best for sickle cell warriors because we live with it, but also because we care, we understand, we relate, and we know how important the role we play is in the community. But my family is so loud. But without support from donors, from people donating, especially people outside of the sickle cell community. Like if you are just scrolling on Facebook right now and this video is playing and you don't even know anyone really with sickle cell,
Yes.
but you are open to donating to a worthy cause. Sickle cell is a very worthy cause that I feel is downplayed and overlooked. But
Yes.
some facts about sickle cell. It is the most common genetic disorder in the world. Period. We're born with it. It's there. It's nothing we can do about it. It's the most common, yet we have so many health disparities.
Yes.
We have the lower number in clinical trials. We have the lowest funding numbers, but our population affects more than cystic fibrosis and hemophilia combined, I believe. And they get millions and millions, and
Yes. Yes.
we're fighting for pennies.
But it's so fun because we're stereotyped so bad. And that's the thing. We have all shades. I mean, and we love one another. We come together. And I feel like if your heart is really touched by this, please donate. We need the funds to definitely help our community to strive and find a cure, to really find a cure. So like Shamonica said, if you strolling down and you seeing this, just please learn a little bit more before you stereotype us first. And then second, just see what we're about. Come to one of our events and see what the consortium really does, and you will understand why they fight so hard for this community.
I agree. And also, for people who wants to learn more about sickle cell or learn about the programs that we do and the our Warrior University classes, the education that we have, you can find all of that on the Warrior Network.
Yeah.
And the Warrior Network is where we house all, it's like the Sickle Cell Consortium Netflix. It's
Yes.
where all of our education is, all of our videos, all of our events. It's such a useful tool. And we really, really made this for the community. And I'm putting the link in the chat now so that people can join.
I just want to say hi, Miss Vanessa. What are our other great partners and caregivers?
Oh yes, I love Miss Vanessa. She's been happy in the chat. Hey Miss Vanessa, thanks for tuning in. I feel like you always tune in. So thank you. Oh, Miss Vanessa, I have a question that I'm not ashamed to ask. I don't know how to spell electrophoresis. So if you could you put that in the chat and then I'll retype it? Because that's the test that people need to take to know if they have sickle cell trait.
Yes.
And knowing that you have sickle cell trait is the first step on curbing the numbers of sickle cell. But we don't ever want to push the narrative that if you have the trait and your partner have the trait, then y'all just shouldn't have kids. That's not the narrative we ever want anyone to believe. What we want people to know is if you have the trait and your partner have the trait, you can have an informed decision making process
Yes.
and you have time to gather education and know what you could possibly be getting yourself into if you have kids. So that's the narrative we want to push.
Because like with me and my husband, we took that. We took the education that we knew. We said we're just gonna go ahead and see. We have three beautiful children. Asana being our first one, she has the disease, and then our second child, she has nothing. She's AA. So and then my son, my last child, he has the trait. So it's that one out of four chances. So, but it's about you and your partner coming together, doing the research, making sure this is the decision you guys want, and don't let it stop you. But just make sure you doing it for you. Just
Exactly. Don't let anyone sway your decision. And to break it down more, the the way the genetics work. If you and your partner have the trait, there
mhm.
is a 25% chance each pregnancy. So
Yep.
not overall, but if you and your partner get pregnant 10 times, you have 25% chance 10 times that your kid will have sickle cell. And some people roll that dice, and every time it lands on sickle cell. There's families where each child has the disease, but they feel like it's worth having their child. They knew the risk, they knew the education, they knew what could happen, but they felt that they had what it takes to continue to take that risk. So we never want anyone to think you shouldn't have kids because you have sickle cell trait. And I don't want my warrior women and my warrior men to think you shouldn't have kids because you have sickle cell, because
Mhm.
that is also something told to us as well, that maybe you just shouldn't have kids. And that's such an unfair thing to tell anyone.
Yeah.
Don't, no matter their race, no matter their illness, that is just a cruel and unfair thing to tell people. And sadly, women with sickle cell hear that all the time. Or women who have sickle cell trait and their child could possibly have sickle cell, doctors would will casually say, "Well, how about we just terminate pregnancy?" Because it's like one of our stereotypes, one of our barriers to care is that people downplay the seriousness of this disease, and because it's not seen as important, it's easy to dismiss, and that's so unfair for us. And if we have more support from people outside of the sickle cell community, it will help push the true narratives of what life is and what people with sickle cell really face and go through. So I kind of went on a tangent there, but y'all, y'all get what I'm saying. I'm speaking from the
Yes.
heart, and I'm just, we need the help, and I'm just happy that we, the consortium, is here to provide the help with what resources we do have. So, and I'm so grateful for people like you who dedicate their time and effort and energy into helping others with sickle cell get through life, because
Yeah,
it's hard.
it is. I really could, like, I don't, I can't see, I don't know how you guys do it, because I look at myself and like, well, how do you do it with everything you have going on? But you being a warrior, you being a mom, you being a wife, you being a partner. And right now, I remember when you was just a partner, and now you are the social media manager for SC3. Like, you
Yeah,
really came up a lot. And I remember when I first met you and everything. It's just being a new person, and then our kids was bonding, because it was at a time that
yeah.
they always wanted to eat together. They
Well, both of our girls are on the autism spectrum.
yes,
So that's probably why they connected so well. Rory in the background talking about who.
yes.
um, but yeah, I remember that was the year in Memphis.
Mhm.
They were little bitty. They were so cute, and now they're big girls.
Got a big
Especially my
girl.
daughter.
Oh my gosh, Asana will be 12 next month. I'm like, oh gosh, where the time go?
Rory will
Oh
be
gosh,
13
yes.
in February.
But I just, the connection. And I just feel like I want families to know that when you find out, or you feel lost and you feel like you don't have no one to talk to, you do. Just, it's scary talking to new people that you don't know. But one
Right.
thing I can say, once you do it, it is beautiful. And you will always get people calling and say, I'm just calling to check up on you. I just love it. I just love our community, love how we, make sure we helping out others, knowing, and it's sometimes you have partners out there who may not say it, that they may need help too, but they're not asking for it. And I'm like, you could ask for it as well. This community helps everyone. Even if you're in there and you're struggling yourself, just don't let your ego get the best of you. Just reach out.
Yeah, like, so my favorite rapper is J. Cole, and like
Mhm.
he says, pride is the devil. And it's so many situations where I feel like I'm not gonna speak on something, and I remember that's my pride. And if I'm in a situation where I need help, or I need to say I'm struggling with this, I'll speak up, and you
Yes.
know, so as Miss Notoria said, don't let your ego, don't let your pride stop you for asking for help, and just know that it is people out here to fight with you. You don't have to fight sickle cell alone.
No, you got a community that is ready to back you up. They'll put a smile on your face.
So it's like when you are from a unique population, you can only find others that can relate to your. Excuse me, I'm on mute for a second, y'all.
You're fine. That's the king of your house right now. He controls everything.
Yes, but you don't have to fight alone, y'all. My son, he just turned 2, and he terrorizes the dog. He is the bully of the house. He is the bully of the household. So that's what y'all hear in the background. And we appreciate you too. You're a kid everything. You are always up front and center at all of our events. So just as much as you appreciate us, we appreciate you and all the other warriors and families that routinely attend our events. That's who
Uh,
we fundraise our funds for. This is that is who Giving Timber is for. People like Miss Etta and people like Notoria and her family and Miss Vanessa and other people who are always at our events, always willing to lend a helping hand, always willing to share their story because this community of patients, we care about the awareness. This is one of the hardest working patient populations in advocacy out of any other disease. Sickle cell is one of the only diseases where the burden is placed on us to prove our sickness and to educate those who treat us. So
yes.
thank you, Miss Vanessa. She put in the chat the
Oh,
name of the test that you need to ask for if you want to know if you have sickle cell trait, which is an hemoglobin electrophoresis test. So thank you, Miss Vanessa. And Miss Notoria, I don't want to hold you too long because just like me,
yes.
we are wives and mothers and we have
Woo.
children. So
Yes.
before I let you go, can you just let people know one more time the name of your committee, what the committee does, and who should they contact if they need support of the committee?
Yes, so I am a part of the emergency response team. I am the chairperson. And to contact to get any assistance, like I said, with rent, food, utilities. It's not a lot, but we do try to help out the best way we can. Is Miss Maria. Shamanica put her email in the chat. She is the person to contact. She will make sure she give you the information you need to apply or help you find um, other resources as well. So we have a list of things that we do try to keep in each state. And even if you have some good resources for us in a state that you think we may not have that information in, please do share with us. We do take um, ideas from others and we take it to our committee and we try to basically make sure we get that out there. And we do have a list of resources. I believe it needs to be up to date because we really strong during COVID. You know, even though COVID is kind of trying to sneak back up, so you guys be careful out there. But we definitely try to make sure we help our warriors and their family find the resources they need to get the assistance they need. Because times are hard, infrastructure is going up like crazy, so we understand completely.
Thank you so much, Notoria, and thank you to everyone who joined and watched with us. If you are watching this, even if it's not live, please go ahead and share this video. Share the consortium with someone you know. Encourage people to donate to our Giving Timber fundraising. And Etta says she'll share what information she come across. And just tune in with us weekly as we have these conversations each Wednesday. Um, this is I'm Shamanica Wiggins Mays. I'm the social media manager. And thank you again, Notoria, and thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Good night,
Good
everybody.
night, you guys.